So the first card you have your past is the Seven of Pentacles. So yeah, this is about someone who's kind of working really hard. They're looking back over what they've done. They might still have a lot to do. And I think this is what you were doing. I think you were working on something. I think you've been working on this for a long, long time, a really long time actually. But whatever this thing you were working on, it's a part of you, it's a part of your heart. It's not just about money, or it wasn't for you. And I know this is Pentacles, obviously, but it's about more than that for you. It still is. So you're still working on this thing. I think it's a beautiful thing that you're doing. I think in working on this thing, I think you're building up a lot of things for yourself, building up a talent that you've always had. And I think you're building up a lot of your self-worth as well. I think you lost a lot. I think you've lost a lot in relationships, and you're starting to build that up for yourself again. This is the one thing, this work project, this thing, it's the one thing you kind of grip onto that's kind of helping you. That's what I'm seeing. Stay doing that. That's showing you that that's the right road you're supposed to be going on. I think you have had a few people in your life who've told you that you can't do this, you can't do that, especially this thing, but other things as well. You might have had a little bit of conservatism in your background, conservative people, something like that. That's what I'm seeing, because what I'm seeing is you've broken a mold. You're very different from where you came from. So that's where I think this kind of opposition to what you're doing might come from. You're a very, very brave person. I think you're very brave to have broken that mold. But sometimes being brave can be a very lonely road sometimes. It can be very hard for you to find the right people to have around you, especially in love. And I think that's where you've had a lot of problems in your life, in the love department. Now, sometimes this strength that you have, I think it sometimes drives some people away. That's not a criticism of you. I don't want you to ever change. I think your strength is in your uniqueness, actually. You don't fit into any mold. And some people find that hard to get their head around. And I think you have had some people in your love life who found that very, very hard. I see that as a fantastic strength, but these people didn't find that. And that just means that they're the wrong people for you. I think your uniqueness is it's kind of a filter, and it filters out people who aren't good for you. So I think that's what's happened. So don't you change. See it as something like, okay, this is a filter. This is going to be used. My uniqueness is there to see who is right for me and who isn't. And I think that's been what's happening. So see it in that way. I think you're always going to have people who come into your life who are going to try to kind of categorize you, and they can't do that. You're very hard to categorize, and that's a fantastic thing. I love that about you. And I think when they start to do that and they can't do that and they struggle with you and maybe they put you down, that's your signal. That's your signal that they're not right for you. That's your signal to move away. And you're learning that. And I think you're still going through that process. And I think in your future, you'll still be going through that for a while until you kind of come through that and come to the end of that. And then you'll be a lot more peaceful in yourself. But I think you're still going through that process. Yeah, that was a big long stream of consciousness when I was looking at that card. That just happens sometimes, and that's why I say I hope that makes sense a lot of the time, because sometimes I don't know if it makes sense. It just comes out. So I think that's what happened that time. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. So the next card you have your past is the Hanged Man. Yeah, so this is one of these people I'm seeing here who you had a relationship with, and it was a breakdown. I think it might have happened in this year. I'm seeing something recent, but it's not super recent. So I think this person came into your life. They're one of these people who couldn't handle your uniqueness. And I think, I think when this person came along, you're like, oh, I'm not going to fall in love again. I've seen it all. I've been through everything. And then they suddenly came into your life and they turned you upside down like this man. So your whole world turned upside down when you were with this person. But I think, you realized that they weren't for you. I think they were hiding something from you. I think they hid how they felt about you. They kind of hid away in the background. And it was kind of like, they weren't real with you. They weren't saying, look, I've got this problem. I don't like this. I feel really worried about this or that, or I don't want to be with you. They wouldn't say one or the other. They just kind of hung around, and you're kind of like, well, where are you? Are you with me? Are you against me? Do you want to be with me? Do you want to leave? I don't know. And I think this person also came backwards and forwards a few times as well. And you're kind of like, I don't want this. I'm a real person. I'm a real person. I just want you to be real with me. Stay or go, but tell me what you're doing. And they were kind of just hanging there like this hanged man. And it was driving you absolutely crazy, because I think indifference to you is actually worse than someone who is having an argument with you, because at least you know where you are with someone who's having an argument with you, because I think you're a passionate person, you're a real person, so that really bothered you. But yeah, I think you have moved on from that, but I think you still have your guard up because of that, and I think you're still going through a lot, you're still going through this process, and I think the reason why you are is because of that relationship as well. So you still have a lot of healing to do from that. So the last card you have, your past, is Judgment. Okay, so this is usually this card is a big, huge, important card, but I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing a little thing here. I'm looking at this trumpet. This is really going to sound strange to you, but this is what I'm seeing. I think you had a miscommunication with someone, some kind of misunderstanding. And this is just a little text. And I think you might have been a little bit hard with the way you sent a text to someone. It was a little message. You said something that was quite kind of harsh, quite rude. I don't think you meant it to be like that. But they took this as a big insult or something really terrible. And when they opened this text, when they read this text, it was a little bit like this trumpet. It kind of blasted and it kind of made them jump, and they kind of stood back while they looked at this text, and they thought, wow, that's horrible. I don't know how to take that. I feel really terrible. Now, I think even now you might not know that you offended someone. And again, I don't think you meant to do that. So if you've got someone who you've sent a text to, a message, something like that, and they haven't replied, and you've kind of thought, well, I thought I was being a bit smart or funny or a joke or something, and I haven't heard from that person. That might be why you haven't heard from that person. I think they're older than you as well. So if that is resonating, if that's resonating with you, and if you can think about who that might be, I think you might have to call them and talk to them, and just to make it up to them, and just explain that you didn't mean to be harsh with them. That's what I'm seeing in that card. Okay, so the first card you have, your presence, the Six of Pentacles. So here's this big imbalance here. That's what this card's about. And it's a little bit about people who think they're better than other people, because, you know, this man's giving this money to these people, these poor people here, and he kind of thinks he's well dressed and he's kind of a bit haughty looking. He thinks he's better than them, basically. So that's what this is about. There's this feeling of someone seeing them being ranked in a certain position, and they see other people as being ranked kind of below them. That's what I'm seeing. It's really horrible. Yeah, this is a very kind of a pompous person that I'm seeing, a bit like this person in this card. I think this is a work-related thing. I actually think you might have been overlooked for someone else. And this is a work thing again. They had this kind of idea that people were kind of ranked in different positions, and they were ranked higher than you. That sounds horrible, because for me, no one's ranked higher than anyone else. Everyone's equal. But this is how this person was thinking. And it was around work. I think what happened was you were overlooked with something, or someone overlooked you and they chose someone over you, something like that. And if this is resonating, if this is making any sense to you, I think they're going to change this decision. I don't think this person that they chose is going to be the right person that they want. And I think what's going to happen is they're going to look around and think, who else can I choose who can do this job, or whatever this is. And they're going to go and turn around and focus on you and choose you. And they're going to ask you. Now, I don't think you're going to want to say yes to this person because obviously they're not treating people very well. They have this kind of sense of superiority about themselves. And I think you might actually say no to them. you know, you have a rebellious streak anyway. You like to go against the system, and you have a strong sense of justice as well. So yeah, I think you might say no. And when you say no, they're going to be really shocked. I think they're going to be really surprised, because they're going along thinking, oh, I'm better than this, I'm higher up than this person and that person. And if I ask them, if I say this, they'll just say yes. I just have to click my fingers. That's the attitude they have. And you're just going to say no. No. That's what I'm seeing there. I'm glad you're saying no. They sound horrible. The next card you have your presence, the Three of Pentacles. So this is a work thing again. This card can be about work. It can be about having to cooperate with people who you normally wouldn't, and that really sums up this person. So again, here they are again in this card. They're not someone you choose to be with. You don't want to be with them. And I don't think they're above you in any way at all. I think this is just their illusion or their delusion that they have about themselves. So you're not obliged to say yes. And I think you're right. I think you're right to say no to them. They're not above you. They think they are, but they're not. And so, yeah, you're doing the right thing. You're doing the absolute right thing. And yeah, so that's all I can see there. It's really just following on from the Six of Pentacles. So yeah, you're right to say no to them. They're going to be shocked though. Really, really, really shocked. They're going to be like, oh, how could this person say no to me? You know, that's what I'm seeing. But yeah, you are going to. I'm glad you are. The last card you have your presence, the Knight of Swords. Excuse me. Sorry, I just had to cough there. Okay, so there's a little bit of a warning here. I think there's someone who's trying to get close to you. I think it might be a little bit subtle. You're not ready for a relationship. I can see that in the Hanged Man. If you're single, that's what I'm seeing. Yeah, I think they're just starting to talk to you. But you've got this big, huge barrier up, of course, which I was seeing before. And you need that up until you've kind of gone through this process. And you are going through that. I think you might be misjudging someone, actually. You might have your barriers up a little bit too much. Now, I'm not saying you have to say yes to this person or go out with them or agree to whatever they're doing. You know, I don't think you think of this person as relationship material, and that's actually fine. You don't have to. You're probably judging them a little bit too harshly, a little bit too quickly. That's what this card can be about sometimes. They're not out to hurt you or anything like that. I think if you told them you're not interested, I think they'd be fine. I don't think they'd bother you or anything like that. I don't think they have bad intentions. They have pure intentions. This is a white horse. And again, you know, you don't have to talk to anyone or see anyone you don't want to. But be a little bit careful that you're not judging people a little bit harshly. All you need to do is say no politely to them. But I think you might have your guard up a little bit too much, and you might be reacting in a bit of an over-the-top way, maybe a little bit like this knight. So just be a bit careful if you feel yourself doing that, if you feel yourself reacting to people who want to come towards you in a bit of a harsh way. Because I was seeing that in the Judgment card, that you're kind of a little bit over the top in the way you're speaking to people. Maybe you're speaking in not a very nice way. Now, you don't have to be nice to everyone if they're horrible to you. But in this case, and in the Judgment card, none of these people were behaving in a bad way towards you. So just be a little bit self-aware, tone it down a bit. Don't be angry with me. That's just what I'm seeing. That's just what I'm seeing. And kind of you've got your guard up so much, and this person in the Hanged Man hurt you so much that you're kind of a bit overreacting to people. So just watch out for that if that's what you're doing, if that resonates with you. Okay, so the first card you have your future is the King of Swords. Yes, so again, this is you with your guard up. You're still going to be like this for a while. That's absolutely fine. But just make sure you're more like the King of Swords, where he's sitting there peacefully with his sword up, guarding himself, but not like the Knight of Swords, who's actually coming out and attacking. And again, I don't think you mean to do this. I think you're just kind of overreacting a little bit at this time. You might be a little bit angry. You might be a little bit prickly, bothered by what people are saying a little bit too much. And I think as you go through this process, you're going to be less and less and less like that. Because what I'm seeing in this card is this man's still got his guard up, this king, I should say, but he's coming into a bit of a more peaceful place. Because if you look at this card, this wind, there's still a lot of wind flying around behind him. There are birds in the sky. There are still clouds. The trees are kind of moving around a bit. But if you look at him, you know, his clothes aren't moving. They're very still. He's sitting there still, even though he's in this kind of turbulent environment. And that's what you're going to eventually be like. Little things that kind of annoy you now, which is what I'm seeing the Judgment card and the Knight of Swords, they're going to start to just, you know, what's going to happen is, like, if you look at this king, he's up on this hill. So you're going to rise above any of those things, and you're going to eventually be at this place where nothing's going to bother you at all. You're just going to be up high. You're going to let it all happen. And that's the ultimate place where you're going to be eventually. That's when you get to the end of this process. You're still going through this, and that's what's going to happen at the end. So yeah, so just, if you get a bit touchy now, a bit prickly, a bit angry, overly upset by little things, try and calm yourself, try and tame yourself. Know that you're going through a process, and that eventually you're going to be able to rise above all these things. You're always going to have annoying people around you. You're always going to have people bothering you. Everyone has that all the time. But the way you react to it is going to be a lot different in the future. That's what I'm seeing in that card. So the next card you have, your future, is the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so I'm just going to look at these two cards together, the Knight of Pentacles and the Three of Wands, because they're both waiting cards, and I'm seeing them as a pair, actually. And I'm looking at this business thing or this work thing that you're working on, and it's more than that. Once again, it's very personal to you. You know, it means a lot to you. It's very, very personal. It's like it's a part of you, actually. So, you know, it might have your name on the business if it's a business, or it might have your face on it. I'm seeing something like that. So if it's a brand, you might actually have your face on it. I don't know. It's something that's very, very, very personal to you. So it's you. So when you put your business out, or your brand out, or whatever that is that you're doing, or your you know, your product or whatever, it has you in it. That's what I'm seeing. I don't know if that's going to make any sense to you. That's what I'm seeing. So you don't feel separate from this thing. It's a part of you. That's what I'm trying to say. So I think at this time, you're going to come to a time when things are going to slow down a lot for you. They're going to feel like it's grinding to a halt. You're going to be a little bit worried. It's going to be like, oh, nothing's happening. I'm not getting anywhere. Things are so slow. I'm waiting for things to pick up, and they're not. So what I want to encourage you to do is, if this is happening to you, if this is resonating, just know that things go up and down. Profits go up and down. People's interest goes up and down. Everything goes up and down. My subscriber count goes up and down. My followers go up and down. It just happens. That's just the way it is. So the general trend, though, if you look at things from, you know, if you step back and look at everything, I think you'll notice that the general trend is going up. It's just what's happening at this time. Things have gone up and down in the past. They'll go up and down in the future. They're going up and down now. This is just a little time where things are going down. Things are moving in the background. You're just not seeing that. Things are moving around for things to be able to rise up again. And you will move forward again. And you are. You're just not realizing it. I think you're going through this time where you are quite reacting a bit to things. So, you know, catastrophizing. That's not the word. Catastrophizing. Seeing things as a catastrophe. Sorry, I don't know what's wrong with me. I can't say that. Catastrophe. I don't even know if that's a word. But I think you know what I'm talking about. It's like a little thing happens and you kind of blow it up out of proportion. So this is a crazy... I'm sorry about this. I'm trying to kind of articulate myself properly. I can't speak. But anyway, I think you know what I'm talking about. Because I'm seeing that in the Judgment card, Knight of Swords. I'm seeing that here. Little things are coming, and they're kind of driving you crazy. So I think you'll get through this as well, and you'll come to this time in the King of Swords where you'll be calm about that as well. You'll be peaceful, and you say, yes, things go up and down, and I'll have to go just push through this, and you will. The other thing I'm seeing here is you have some other competitors as well around you. Some of them are going to fall by the wayside. You're just going to be one of these people who don't do that. You're going to stay. You're in this for the long haul. So don't be frustrated if you're going through this right now. The rewards are going to come in, and there are going to be a lot more financial rewards coming in for you in the future. These two cards are golden cards. The Knight of Pentacles is golden. The Three of Wands is golden. So there's money, success coming into you. Definitely. Absolutely. Catastrophizing. I did it. I think I did it. I don't know. Anyway, Scorpio, I hope this resonated with you, but general readings can't always resonate, as you know. But again, if you liked this reading, you probably didn't. You probably thought I was a crazy person. But if you did, please like, subscribe, leave a comment if you'd like to. And thank you so much for watching.